Oh, welcome back, Steve's Corner. You know you're getting old when? Man, I'm just a young buck. I won't even be 60 for about another 6 months. But it seems like I never have a problem answering that daggone question, finishing that statement. And it seems like I'm always coming up with new and inventive ways to answer it. Last week, it was been exactly a week ago. Somehow I tore my back up. Well, I know how I did it. You're going to get a kick out of this. I was taking my sock off. That's all I did. I reached down and take my sock off, and I ain't been straight since. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and most of the day Saturday, I couldn't hardly even get out of bed. It was the only place I could get any resemblance of relief. You know, I could get in there and I could pile pillows around me and kind of roll in certain positions where it would ease off enough that I wasn't in terrible pain. Over-the-counter drugs didn't cut it. I did make it out about 15 minutes one day to get to the doctor because I was worried about it getting worse on me, because it got worse every daggone day. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, man, it was all she wrote. I was laid out, Doc. But Friday, I was worried about it getting worse over the weekend and ended up having to go to the emergency room for it. So I made it into the doctor, and he gave me some kind of steroid and some kind of pain pill just to take the edge off so I could get some rest. But I ain't been able to sit. Well, I did a little bit. This first time I've been out here. Except yesterday I come out here a couple of times, try to sit down a little bit, and more than about 5 minutes I have to get up and get in the house, go lay down or walk it. It actually helps to walk it a little bit. I've always had back problems, lower back. Come from when I worked in a warehouse picking orders. You got to do so many, and it was time-based picking them orders. You're moving so fast and you ain't got time to use your legs like you're supposed to. You just bend over and pick up a package, throw it on a pallet, and go to the next one. So I've always had lower back, but this time of year it's up in my ribs, up in the back part. But when if you pull a muscle in your back or your stomach, man, you use them muscles for everything. Yeah, they're core muscles. They just breathing, you're using them things. And I mean, everything you do hurts. Reminded me of we used to get these little papers at work. Every once in a while somebody'd pass one around and make one up. And I got a pile of them there in the house. A lot of them ain't safe for work. But this one here was about, the title of it was that seniors were the largest carriers of AIDS. And if you think about it, it's true. It had a list of them down there. Hearing aids, roll aids, walking aids. It had a whole list of them. And that's the truth. And I always say that's the worst part of retirement. That's the hardest thing to deal with, to getting older. Everything else you can kind of, little hornet there, you see that? But everything else you can kind of work around. But that there, you just have to wait till it happens, until it shows up, and then you deal with it the best you can. But it kind of puts a spice in life too, you know. Every day ain't the same. No telling what body part's gonna fall apart what day. But so we're gonna have some upgrades to the house here in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna put siding on the house. We're the only house in the neighborhood that ain't got siding on it. We just got that old presswood siding still, but it's time to paint again. And every 7-10 years or so I paint the house, and every time I look at getting siding. But when I was younger, man, I ain't had no problem. It was cheaper. A couple $100 in paint, a couple of days on a ladder, because we got a small place. Ain't but, I don't know if it's 1,100 square feet or not, just a little bitty rancher. It's easy to paint, flat sides and everything. So I could, but now I ain't too tickled about getting up on a ladder. It's not that I can't do it, it's just, if I happen to fall off now, I'm getting older, I ain't gonna recover near as well. something might break. But I ain't as limber. I ain't able to stop, drop, and roll like I used to. While they're at it, I'm going to get them to put gutter guards. That way I ain't got to worry about cleaning the gutters or having somebody come over and clean them anymore. So I'm eliminating the possibilities of me hurting myself. Is what I'm doing. But sometimes you hurt yourself, don't even realize it. But anyways, that's the reason I weren't able to make a video on Friday. I was probably laying down, trying to get some rest. But I tell you, life is full of excitement. Down on the corner, anyways. But I had somebody ask me a couple of weeks ago if I was worried about that daggone Israel, because I mean the world really popped off this weekend, Doc. I ain't gonna lie to you. Since I was on here last, anyways. And we dropped that bomb over there on top of them nuclear sites. Everybody was worried about how that was going to shake out. But I told them I really wasn't concerned about it. I mean, them people have been fighting over there for hundreds of years. They hate each other, you know. There's no rhyme or reason to it. They've been killing each other for centuries. It'll shake out or it won't, you know. I feel bad for Israel. I mean, it's a small country and they're surrounded by people that want to annihilate them. So, I mean, I think we ought to help them. If there's a possibility. And dropping that bomb, I think, helped them a lot. I ain't too tickled about seeing our daggone young men and women put boots on the ground over there. I think that ought to be a last resort. It's the same thing we've always done, man. It's the same thing I think about Ukraine. In my mind, Russia needs to pay for what they did. You don't just invade a sovereign country like that. And that started back when they went over in Crimea. You know, nobody lifted a finger back then. Now, they weren't shooting and killing people, but they went in there and took over and claimed it as their own country, part of their country. If it had been stopped then, you wouldn't have had this problem now. They figured, you know, they miscalculated. They thought, well, heck, we go over there, it'd be just as easy. Now, you take the whole country. But I mean, you don't do that kind of mess. It's like somebody coming in off the street, going in and claiming your living room is their own now. That's bull. But I think, again, with them, I mean, I think if they need anything, if we're able to help them, I think we ought to. We've always done it, man. Second World War was the same way. You know, we did that Lend-Lease program for Russia and UK for a long time before we entered the war. We would have entered it anyways, even if it hadn't been for Pearl Harbor. You know, but Pearl Harbor just accelerated our entrance is all it did. But, you know, we do as much as we can until we have to step it up. It's just like, I think we ought to do that. To anybody that needs a hand. You know, just, hey man, that's utopia. I know you're trying to do what's right and hoping other people will do the same, but it never works that way. But I mean, you know, first thing they tell you when you get on the airplane is put your air mask on first, because you can't help nobody else if you're passed out. And I think it's the way we ought to work it. And it all works out. I don't know how that Ukraine thing is going to shake out, but it looks like Israel and Iran want to calm it down now a little bit. If I'd known that, I'd have told them to drop that bomb first off. But Israel had to go in there and lay the groundwork first. They bombed them and did all kinds of prep work, and it made it easier for us to go in. But I don't know how they're going to end that Ukraine thing. Couple of hummingbirds. But that's about the only thing I was able to do last week was I cleaned them bird feeders, but I wasn't able to refill them. I got hurt. As much as I like to sit, you'd think it wouldn't bother me much, but doggone, you know, it's nice when I get to choose when I sit. But I mean, when that back hurt, I couldn't even sit. There's no way I'd been able to do this yesterday or the day before. So you got to be careful about how you help people. And do what you can, but try not to hurt yourself. Because if they really need our boots on the ground and something like that, then we got to be able to do it. And we can't if we give him so much help. We're no longer prepared to do anything. But I'll be honest with you, I'm more concerned about the nuts we got here in the U.S. Man, we got a pile of them, man. We need to clean our mess up before we can clean anybody else's up. That anti-Jewish movement moving through the country is just, I just can't understand that. And you know, it's getting to be rampant, it seems like. I don't know if it is or just notice it more often because they show it more often on TV. But I think that's crazy. I don't understand it. Don't know how to fix it either. Well, it don't stop me from thinking about it. And then you got that nut over there in Idaho, man. He built that daggone fire. And then when the firemen got there, he started shooting at them. They killed one that I know of, I think. Or maybe they killed two and one was in serious condition. But they ended up, I just read this morning, ended up finding him dead already in the woods there. But that was, I mean, you got nuts like that. We got to take care of that stuff first before we can help anybody else, I think. And now you got Trump canceled the trade agreements with Canada, trade talks. He does a lot of that stuff just to tick people off so he gets news. He knows what he's doing. He's P.T. Barnum of politics. Then I read this morning where they said, well, listen, we ain't going to add that extra tariff on y'all. So now the talks are back on. Yeah, I don't know. World's screwy, Doc. I ain't gonna lie to you. But listen, I got a bunch of junk videos I made over the month or two. I just ain't never posted. I'll probably start posting them. Probably going forward. Walk around the gazebo here, talking about it, maybe cooking on the griddle. I did one of that, making some shish kebabs. Making them little keychains. I finally got all that one together. There's a lot of stuff I want to do, but I've been delayed. Got a little place down there in Colonial Heights called what is it? Violet Bank. Keep wanting to say Custer, but it was General Lee's headquarters when they were during the Battle of the Petersburg, Siege of Petersburg, Battle of the Crater. It's just across the river. On this side of the river is Colonial Heights, and on that side is Petersburg and the Battle of the Crater. They got a big tree up there called I can't think of what they call it. So that's sort of like a magnolia tree. It's a big sucker, big arms because it came out from under it. Cucumber. They call it a cucumber tree. Big sucker. It actually came from Thomas Jefferson. It was a cutting from a Thomas Jefferson's tree up there in Charlottesville. He knew the guy that had the place back then. So it used to be a big old farm. Now it's just a little piece of land right around the house. Probably might not even have a half-acre lot around it. But it's interesting. I want to run down to the courthouse too. Chesterfield County Courthouse has got a little museum up there. It talks about the history of the county. It's pretty interesting. They got the original jail up there from 1749 or something like that. I think it's when the county was built. Or was developed or whatever. And then I still want to run to the tractor museum up there in Colonial Heights. I might make it a twofer when I go over to Violet Bank. The one's at one end of the city and the other one's about in the middle of the city. They ain't but about 15 minutes down the road. So I'm trying to get busy on that stuff now. Now that I really can't do much for the next week or so. Oh, and I really do I wanted to start this past weekend on my banjo. I just ain't had a chance to get to it. I wasn't able to this weekend. That was the plan. I finished up them keychains and get on that. So we'll see. But anyways, man, it's going to get warm here today. Today and tomorrow, and humidity's supposed to kick back off. So it'd be nice this week. I wanted to start daggone kayaking too last week, but I couldn't pick the sucker up. I talked to my buddy about it, and he cleaned it up for me. He said, come get it whenever I was ready, but I don't know if I'll get it this week or next week. I'm just going to take it out and paddle it around, get used to it at first before I try to do any fishing off of it. Might hate it. That's why I ain't gonna buy one. I'll try his this summer. Anyways, man, y'all take care. Try to make it a good week if you can. And we'll talk to y'all later.